The growing tension between the US and China is a global concern that seems to be intensifying by the day. US foreign policy in the Asia-Pacific region has long centered on maintaining its strategic dominance, while China continues to expand its military, economic, and geopolitical reach. As the two superpowers confront one another, there's an increasingly narrow path to avoid conflict, particularly around flashpoints like Taiwan and the South China Sea. US support for Taiwan, including arms sales and military presence in the region, has angered Beijing, which views the island as a renegade province. Any move by the US to bolster Taiwan's defenses further could lead to a direct confrontation with China, which is determined to bring Taiwan under its control, peacefully or by force. The risks are real and growing, and a miscalculation in this delicate balance could have catastrophic results for the world. Moreover, China's rise as an economic and military powerhouse is seen as a challenge to US hegemony, especially in the Indo-Pacific region. As China strengthens its navy and develops new military technologies, the US has responded by forming alliances with regional powers like Japan, South Korea, and Australia. The US military's presence and exercises in the South China Sea, where China claims territorial waters, have also escalated the stakes. The presence of Chinese military bases on artificial islands in contested waters only adds to the tension. Many fear that the increasing proximity of US and Chinese military forces in this region could lead to an accidental clash that could quickly spiral out of control. But it's not just military competition. The US-China economic rivalry is just as critical. The two countries are locked in a trade war that began in 2018 and continues to affect the global economy. The US has imposed sanctions on Chinese companies, particularly in the tech sector, targeting giants like Huawei and restricting access to advanced technologies. China, in response, has doubled down on self-reliance in critical technologies like semiconductors, AI, and 5G. This economic decoupling is setting the stage for a long-term struggle between the two nations, with profound implications for global supply chains, trade, and technology innovation. One of the biggest risks, however, is the potential for miscalculation. As military assets of both countries operate in close proximity, a small incident could spark a larger conflict. An accidental clash in the South China Sea or over Taiwan could ignite a war that neither side wants, but that both could be drawn into. Diplomatic efforts to manage these tensions have so far yielded limited results, and with each provocation, the margin for error shrinks. Both countries are aware of the stakes, but domestic pressures, national pride, and strategic goals continue to push them toward confrontation rather than cooperation. In the end, what makes this situation particularly volatile is the unpredictability of future events. Will the US continue to stand by Taiwan if China moves to reclaim it by force? How will China respond if the US bolsters its military presence in the region? And will the economic rivalry between the two nations turn into a broader global conflict? These are the questions that will define the coming years, and the answers will shape the future of global politics and security. While diplomacy remains an option, it's becoming harder to see a path where both superpowers can avoid a direct confrontation. It's clear that the stakes are higher than ever, and the consequences of war between the US and China would be felt worldwide. With two nuclear-armed nations involved, the cost of conflict could be catastrophic. As we watch this geopolitical chess game unfold, one thing is certain: the world is holding its breath, hoping that cooler heads will prevail before it's too late.